Hello, and welcome to another video. Today, I'll be giving you an updated tour of one of my all-time favorite commander decks. This is Arahbo, Roar of the World. This deck has made a few appearances on my channel over the years, but I am really excited to share with you where it's at in 2026. This is a Selesnya deck that is both cat and equipment themed. So let's jump in and I'll take you through every card. So starting out with our commander, we have Arahbo, Roar of the World. He is 3 green-white for a 5/5 legendary cat avatar. He's got an Eminence ability that says, at the beginning of combat on your turn, if Arahbo, Roar of the World is in the command zone or on the battlefield, another target cat you control gets +3/+3 until end of turn. And his other ability is whenever another cat you control attacks, you may pay 1 green-white. If you do, it gains trample and gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is its power. So, I really love having Arahbo as a commander. That Eminence ability is very impactful for your cats, especially early on in the game, allowing your 2/2s to punch up pretty significantly in combat, and then, of course, later on, once you have cast Arahbo, being able to double power and toughness for your cats, and especially give them trample, is very powerful. So ideally, we're just making some very big cats and swinging in for a ton of damage. Next, we can look through the rest of the creatures, starting with all of the other cats in the deck. First, we have Lion Sash, which really embodies both themes of the deck. It is 1 and a white for a 1/1 artifact creature, equipment cat. You can pay 1 and a white to exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a permanent card, put a +1/+1 counter on Lion Sash. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each +1/+1 counter on Lion Sash, and it has Reconfigure for 2. So yeah, I really like that this can eat cards out of any graveyard. And Reconfigure is a mechanic from Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. It is basically equip, but you can also unequip for this to become like a regular creature. Very cool card design there. Next, we've got Kasali Pridemage. It is green-white for a 2/2 cat wizard with Exalted. And you can pay 1 and sacrifice Kasali Pridemage, destroy target artifact or enchantment. So, good little utility creature there. Fleecemane Lion is green-white for a 3/3 cat, and you can pay 3 green-white for Monstrosity 1. As long as Fleecemane Lion is monstrous, it has hexproof and indestructible. Next, we've got a somewhat new addition from Foundations. Arahbo the First Fang. He is 2 and a white for a 2/2 legendary cat avatar. Other cats you control get +1/+1. Whenever Arahbo or another non-token cat you control enters, create a 1/1 white cat creature token. Miri, Weatherlight Duelist, is 1 green-white for a 3/2 legendary cat warrior with first strike. Whenever Miri attacks, each opponent can't block with more than 1 creature this combat. As long as Miri is tapped, no more than 1 creature can attack you each combat. So, good for some combat protection. Kemba, Ka Regent, is 1 white for a 2/4 legendary cat cleric. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a 2/2 white cat creature token for each equipment attached to Kemba. So, obviously a great target to attach a bunch of equipment to, and spit out a bunch of 2/2s on each of your upkeeps. Feline Sovereign is 2 and a green for a 2/3 cat. Other cats you control get +1/+1 and have protection from dogs. Whenever 1 or more cats you control deal combat damage to a player, destroy up to 1 target artifact or enchantment that player controls. Typical cat behavior: wants to knock everything off the table, and I appreciate it. Next, we've got Kahira, the Orphan Guard. The companion part does not matter at all, but she is 1 hybrid green-white for a 3/2 legendary cat beast. She has vigilance. Each other creature you control that is a cat, elemental, nightmare, dinosaur, or beast gets +1/+1 and has vigilance. I don't think any of these other creature types are in here, but definitely a good thing to keep in mind if you get Beast Within or Crib Swapped or something like that. Next, we've got Pride Sovereign. It is 2 and a green for a 2/2 cat. Pride Sovereign gets +1/+1 for each other cat you control, and pay a white, tap, and exert Pride Sovereign. Create 2 1/1 white cat creature tokens with lifelink. Kutzil, Malamet Exemplar, is 1 green white for a 3/3 legendary cat warrior. Your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. Whenever one or more creatures you control with power greater than its base power deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So hopefully we're able to draw a decent amount of cards off of this. Between Arahbo, the other cats we saw that give +1/+1, and especially with all of the equipment in here, this condition shouldn't be too hard to achieve. Jazal Goldmane is 2 white for a 4/4 legendary cat warrior with first strike, and pay 3 white. Attacking creatures you control get +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of attacking creatures. So very handy if you end up going wide with a bunch of cat tokens. Goes really well with Kutzil. And yeah, almost like a mini critter hoof. Temur Sabertooth is 2 green for a 4/3 cat. Pay 1 into green. You may return another target creature you control to its owner's hand. If you do, Temur Sabertooth gains indestructible until end of turn. Alms Collector is 3 and a white for a 3/4 cat cleric with flash. If an opponent would draw 2 or more cards, instead, you and that player each draw a card. So, kind of a nasty surprise. One of my favorite cards is Balin, Wandering Knight. He is 2 white for a 3/3 legendary cat knight with first strike. Balin, Wandering Knight has double strike as long as 2 or more equipment are attached to it. Pay 1 into white. Attach all equipment you control to Balin. Armored Sky Hunter is 3 and a white for a 3/3 cat knight with flying. Whenever Armored Sky Hunter attacks, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may put an aura or equipment card from among them onto the battlefield. If an equipment is put onto the battlefield this way, you may attach it to a creature you control. Put the rest of those cards on the bottom of your library in a random order. Kasali Slingers is 4 and a green for a 3/5 cat warrior with reach. Whenever Kasali Slingers or another cat enters the battlefield under your control, you may destroy target artifact or enchantment. Regal Caracal is 3 white for a 3/3 cat. Other cats you control get +1/+1 and have lifelink. When Regal Caracal enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 white cat creature tokens with lifelink. And giving all of our cats lifelink is especially useful for our next one here. We've got Felidar Sovereign. It is 4 white for a 4/6 cat beast with vigilance and lifelink. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 40 or more life, you win the game. Another one of my favorites is Jareth, Leonin Titan. He is 3 white for a 4/7 legendary cat giant. Whenever Jareth blocks, it gets +7/+7 until end of turn. And pay a white. Jareth gains protection from the color of your choice until end of turn. Nazan, Revered Bladesmith, is 4 green for a 5/4 legendary cat artificer. When Nazan enters, search your library for an equipment card and reveal it. If you reveal a card named Hammer of Nazan this way, put it onto the battlefield. Otherwise, put that card into your hand, then shuffle your library. Whenever an equipped creature you control attacks, you may tap target creature defending player controls. Jeditogenin of Afrava is 3 green for a 5/5 legendary cat warrior with forest walk. Whenever Jedit attacks or blocks, create a 2/2 green cat warrior creature token with forest walk. And our final cat is Raksha, Golden Cub. He is 5 white for a 3/4 legendary cat soldier with vigilance. As long as Raksha is equipped, cat creatures you control get +2/+2 and have double strike. So, very strong card there as long as it's equipped. And the remaining creatures are not cats, unfortunately, but still important. Starting with Sakura Tribe Elder, which is 1 and a green for a 1/1 snake shaman that you can sacrifice to search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Sram, Senior Edificer. He is 1 and a white for a 2/2 legendary dwarf advisor. Whenever you cast an aura, equipment, or vehicle spell, draw a card. Pure Steel Paladin is white white for a 2/2 human knight. Whenever an equipment enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. And Metalcraft. Equipment you control have equip 0 as long as you control 3 or more artifacts. So super strong. And really good for being able to move equipment around before and after combat. We have Relic Seeker. It is 1 into white for a 2/2 human soldier with Renown 1. When Relic Seeker becomes renowned, you may search your library for an equipment card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Halavar, God of Battle, does double as equipment, but on his front, he is 2 white white for a 4/4 legendary god. Creatures you control that are enchanted or equipped have double strike. At the beginning of each combat, you may attach target aura or equipment attached to a creature you control to target creature you control. So again, really good for moving around equipment. And on the other side is Sword of the Realms. It is 1 into white for a legendary artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has vigilance. Whenever equipped creature dies, return it to its owner's hand. And equip for 1 into white. And we've got another god to round out the creatures. Nylia, God of the Hunt. She is 3 into green for a 6/6 legendary enchantment creature, god, with indestructible. As long as your devotion to green is less than 5, Nylia isn't a creature. Other creatures you control have trample. Pay 3 into green. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. So, mostly just here to give other creatures trample, but does certainly have some other useful abilities as well. But that is all for the creatures. Up next, let's look at the artifacts. All right. So first, to kick off the artifact section, we'll of course be taking a look at all of the equipment. Starting with Lava Spur Boots. It is 1 for an equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has haste and ward 1. Equip 1. Next we have Basilisk Collar. It is 1 for an equipment. Equipped creature has Death Touch and Lifelink. Equip 2. Bloodforged Battle Axe. is 1 for an equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+0. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, create a token that's a copy of Bloodforged Battle Axe. Equip 2. This one definitely has potential to get out of hand and create a ton of copies of itself. We've got Shadow Spear, which is 1 for a legendary equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has trample and lifelink. You can pay 1 and permanents your opponent's control lose hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Equip 2. We've got Swiftfoot Boots. It is 2 for an equipment. Equipped creature has hexproof and haste. Equip 1. Umezawa's Jite is 2 for a legendary equipment. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage, put 2 charge counters on Umezawa's Jite. Remove a charge counter from Umezawa's Jite. Choose 1. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Or you gain 2 life. Equip 2. Sword of the Animist is 2 for a legendary equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+1. Whenever equipped creature attacks, you may search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Equip 2. This one I've found is shockingly useful. It's definitely bailed me out of some pretty bad situations, so I really like it. Hero's Blade is 2 for an equipment. Equipped creature gets +3/+2. Whenever a legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may attach Hero's Blade to it. Equip 4. Behemoth Sledge is 1 green/white for an equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has lifelink and trample. Equip 3. I feel like I'm always on the lookout for ways to grant lifelink with that Felidar Sovereign. Godsend is 1 white/white for a legendary equipment. Equipped creature gets +3/+3. Whenever equipped creature blocks or becomes blocked by 1 or more creatures, you may exile 1 of those creatures. Opponents can't cast cards with the same name as cards exiled with Godsend. Equip 3. I almost never remember that last bit there about not casting cards exiled with this, but I suppose it can come up. Next, we've got Sword of Vengeance. It is 3 for an equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has first strike, vigilance, trample, and haste. Equip 3. Another one of my favorites is Quietus Spike. It is 3 for an equipment. Equipped creature has Death Touch. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, that player loses half their life, rounded up. Equip 3. So earlier we saw Nazan, Revered Bladesmith, which referenced Hammer of Nazan, and now we can see it is 4 for a legendary equipment. Whenever Hammer of Nazan or another equipment enters the battlefield under your control, you may attach that equipment to target creature you control. Equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has Indestructible. Equip 4. So another very useful card that helps us circumvent equip costs. Heartseeker is 4 for an equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+1 and has tap, unattach Heartseeker. Destroy target creature. Equip 5. And our biggest equipment is Argentum Armor. It is 6 for an equipment. Equipped creature gets +6/+6. Whenever equipped creature attacks, destroy target permanent. Equip 6. So, very frightening, especially when we start equipping for free. But yeah, that was all of the equipment. But we do have some remaining artifacts to go over. Starting with Soul Ring. It is 1 for an artifact that you can tap to add 2 colorless mana. Arcane Signet is 2 for an artifact that you can tap to add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. A somewhat new addition to the deck is Patchwork Banner. It is 3 for an artifact. As Patchwork Banner enters, choose a creature type. Creatures you control of the chosen type get +1/+1. Tap, add 1 mana of any color. A fairly versatile utility card is Bow of Nylea. It is 1 green for a legendary enchantment artifact. Attacking creatures you control have Death Touch. Pay 1 into green and tap Choose one. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Bow of Nylea deals 2 damage to target creature with flying. You gain 3 life. Or put up to 4 target cards from your graveyard on the bottom of your library in any order. And our final artifact is the old cat wagon. It is Esika's Chariot. It is 3 and a green for a 4/4 legendary vehicle. When Esika's Chariot enters the battlefield, create 2/2/2 green cat creature tokens. Whenever Esika's Chariot attacks, create a token that's a copy of target token you control. Crew 4. And that is all for the artifacts. Up next, we've got instants and sorceries. Starting out with some ramp, we've got Cultivate. It is 2 and a green for a sorcery. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Reveal them. Put one onto the battlefield tapped, and the other into your hand. Then shuffle. Similarly, we've got Kodama's Reach. It is 2 and a green for a sorcery arcane. Search your library for 2 basic land cards. Reveal them. Put one onto the battlefield tapped, and the other into your hand. Then shuffle. Steel Shaper's Gift is our equipment tutor. It is a single white for a sorcery. Search your library for an equipment card, reveal that card and put it into your hand, then shuffle. And similarly, Open the Armory is 1 and a white for a sorcery. Search your library for an aura or equipment card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. This one's really fun. We've got White Sun Zenith. It is X white for an instant. Create X 2/2 white cat creature tokens. Shuffle White Sun Zenith into its owner's library. Onto some removal. We've got Krosan Grip. 2 and a green for an instant with Split Second. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Altar's Light is 2 white for an instant. Remove target artifact or enchantment from the game. Relic Crush is 4 and a green for an instant. Destroy target artifact or enchantment, and up to 1 other target artifact or enchantment. Swords to Plowshares is a single white for an instant. Exile target creature. Its controller gains life equal to its power. Path to Exile is a single white for an instant. Exile target creature. Its controller may search their library for a basic land card. Put that card onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Beast Within is 2 and a green for an instant. Destroy target permanent. Its controller puts a 3/3 green beast creature token onto the battlefield. And in lieu of a board wipe, we've got Divine Reckoning. It is 2 white for a sorcery. Each player chooses a creature they control. Destroy the rest. And it has flashback for 5 white. And that is all for the instants and sorceries. Up next, we've got a singular Planeswalker. So, it feels a little bad not having an Ajani as the Planeswalker in here. I know I could just add one and maybe I will, but I have drawn so many cards off of the second ability on this Garruk in here. So he is here to stay. But he is Garruk Primal Hunter. He is 2 green for a 3 loyalty Planeswalker Garruk. +1, put a 3/3 green beast creature token onto the battlefield. -3, draw cards equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. And -6, put a 6/6 green worm creature token onto the battlefield for each land you control. Moving on to enchantments, we've got Aura Shards. It is 1 green for an enchantment. Whenever a creature comes into play under your control, you may destroy target artifact or enchantment. And Mirari's Wake is 3 green for an enchantment. Creatures you control get +1/+1, and whenever you tap a land for mana, add 1 mana to your mana pool of any type that land produced. And that is all for this deck's non-land cards. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the lands in here, and then we can close out. Starting out with Rogue's Passage, it taps for a colorless mana, or you can pay for and tap. Target creature can't be blocked this turn. Really useful for getting through, especially if you have a creature equipped with Quietus Spike or punching through commander damage, stuff like that. Temple of the False God can tap to add 2 colorless mana. Activate only if you control 5 or more lands. We've got Vivid Meadow and Vivid Grove. They both enter the battlefield tapped with 2 charge counters. You can tap to add a white or a green, respectively, or tap and remove a charge counter to add 1 mana of any color. Ancient Den and Tree of Tales, just artifact lands that tap for a white or a green, respectively. Yavimaya Cradle of Growth is a legendary land that makes every land a forest in addition to its other types. Mosswort Bridge is a land with Hideaway that taps for a green, or you can pay green and tap to play the exiled card without paying its mana cost if creatures you control have total power 10 or greater. Windswept Heath is the green-white fetch land. And then we've got a chunk of green-white lands that I'll kind of just go through quickly unless there is something notable about them. We've got Canopy Vista, Temple Garden, Sungrass Prairie, Temple of Plenty, Grasslands, just a less good fetch land. Frozen Verge, taps for colorless, or pay 2, tap and sack to go find a plains or forest. Sunpetal Grove, Hushwood Verge, Razor Verge Thicket, Lush Portico, Stirring Wildwood, taps for green or white, or pay 1 green white to make it a 3/4 elemental with reach. Command Tower, taps for 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. Opal Palace, taps for a colorless, or pay 1 and tap, add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. If you spend this mana to cast your commander, it enters the battlefield with a number of additional +1/+1 counters on it, equal to the number of times it's been cast from the command zone this game. So, pretty handy. And Path of Ancestry taps for a mana of any color in your commander's color identity. When that mana is spent to cast a creature spell that shares a creature type with your commander, scry 1. And then the rest of these are just basics. And there we have it. Thank you so much for joining me today for a look through this Arahbo Roar of the World Commander deck. I really appreciate you sticking with me if you made it this far. And of course I am curious to know, Is this a commander that you play, or have you played against it? Let me know down in the comments. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure you hit that like button, and please consider subscribing if you haven't already. I put out new Magic the Gathering ASMR videos every Monday and Friday. I truly appreciate all of your support, and I hope you have a wonderful day.